Hey everyone, today we are doing a ranking video for Amouage. I have a selection of samples from Amouage in front of me. A couple of them are the women's also, not just men's. But we're going to go through them and I'm going to tell you whether I think they're great, good, okay, bad or awful in somewhat of a tier list. We're going to start with Amouage King Blue. This is not very pleasant to my nose. It's a little bit sweet. Slightly animalic, slightly funky, kind of leathery but with a kind of a watery aspect to it. From a personal taste perspective, I would put this in the bad category. I don't think it smells pleasant. I wouldn't want to smell like this myself. I wouldn't enjoy smelling it on somebody else. Next up is Overture Man. This one I did a full review of. The opening has got a little bit of a fresh kind of quality to it. There's some subtle kind of darker kind of notes behind it. It's kind of slightly spicy, slightly leathery, kind of musky, a little bit fresh in the opening. I don't hate it, but I also don't love it, and I would put it in okay on a personal taste basis. It's better than the last one. For me, it's okay. Next up is Journeyman. It's got a fresh, kind of bright opening. It's a little green, a little spicy, kind of fresh, citrusy. It changes quite quickly. It's kind of green and spicy and fresh and kind of spicy with this slightly dirty, kind of musky overtone to it. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not sure I would say it's bad, but it's not good. It's somewhere between okay and bad. I'm not going to be... I don't think I'd go so far to say bad, but I wouldn't wear it myself and I wouldn't appreciate it too much on someone else either. I'm actually going to be a little bit hard on this one. I'm going to demote it to bad. I'm not a fan of this one. Next up is Lyric Man, which I used to own a bottle of. This one is a kind of fresher rose scent with a little bit of spice, kind of, and with this kind of what I would describe as a lotion kind of feel, like a rose scented moisturizing lotion, kind of rose cream almost. I'm going to be generous. I'm going to put this in great category. It doesn't blow my mind, but I think it's a really nice, quite elegant perfume that is actually quite unisex. It says man on the name. Personally, a man or a woman could wear this. So I'm going to give this one great. If you like rose. If you don't like rose, you'll hate it. Next up is going to be Gold Man. So this one is quite clean for an Amouage. It's got this musky, very subtle kind of powdery quality that probably is going to remind you of talcum powder. It's soapy, it's talc-like, it's powdery, it's floral, it's musky. I actually think this is quite nice. I think it's not something that I probably would wear myself. And again, I think it's very unisex. A man or a woman could wear this one. I'm going to put this in good. I think it's good. It's a solid release. I think it's got its merits. I personally, on a personal taste level, wouldn't wear it myself. So to me, I'm gonna say it's good. But you're gonna have to like that kind of musky, kind of powdery, cotton wool kind of vibe, talc-ish kind of thing going on. Next up is Rose Incense. This has a kind of fresh kind of rose opening. A little bit of a darkness behind it, a little bit of a bite. It's a little bit kind of screechy and aggressive smelling, incensey kind of quality to it. There's also a slight dirty musky kind of quality, I would say. For me, I don't love this one. It's a little bit scratchy, a little bit screechy, a little bit harsh. For me, I'm going to rank this as okay. Again, I think it's quite unisex. Again, I think it's unisex, but you would have to appreciate rose because the rose is there from the beginning. So for me, it's okay. It's definitely not bad. It's just okay. Next up is Royal Tobacco. This one I hated when I first smelled it, and then I wore it on my skin and I started to slowly warm to it, and I got to the point of actually liking it. It's got this weird kind of leathery tobacco thing going on with this almost Play-Doh-like powdery, dusty, rubbery Play-Doh thing with this unusual kind of sweetness and a feeling of like a combination of tobacco and leather. I appreciated it after some time. I'm gonna say I'm in between with this one. I don't know whether to say it's good or okay. My initial reaction, I would have said it's bad. I really didn't like it initially. It took me quite a while to kind of warm up to this one. The dry down is better than the opening. There's a lot of nuance to this. I think there's a lot of frankincense in here. There's kind of a lot of incense-y kind of quality to it. I'm gonna be generous and say good. I'm gonna put it in good. Again, my initial reaction would be bad, but after some time with it, I'm gonna say good. The last one I can't even spray because I have none left in my sample, but I can smell it again from the atomizer. This is Reflection Man. To be honest, this is one that it's almost like a guilty pleasure because I feel a little bit sad that I like it because it's the one that's hyped, it's the one that's the most popular, it's the most mass appealing, it's the most generic in a way from the brand. But I genuinely think it smells good. I've smelled other people wearing it, I've worn it myself, I like the way it smells. I would be generous and put this under great because I genuinely think it smells nice, and if there was another from Amouage that I would buy at the moment, it would be this one, Reflection Man. I have tried Reflection 45 and I don't like it as much personally. There is a little bit of a change to the formula and it's not exactly this. It's not like it's just more concentrated. There's actually different nuances going on in the opening, which I actually prefer the original. But Reflection Man, I'm going to say, is great. I like it. I feel a little bit sad for liking it, but there you go. Okay, so the last three are for the women. This is Amouage Imitation Woman. These are the only three Amouage samples for women that I have at the moment. This is a very strong indolic floral. This is really not my cup of tea. It's very indolic, it's kind of funky floral. It's thick, it's not pretty, it's not something that I would enjoy smelling, to be honest, on anybody. And I'm not going to say it's awful, there's definitely worse things in the world, but it's not good, so I'm going to put this as bad. Sorry to any of the ladies out there that own this. It's just a personal opinion, personal taste, but this one for me is I struggle with it. The next one is Memoir Woman. This one is better than the last one, thankfully. This one's a little hard to describe, there's a lot kind of going on, it's kind of nuanced, there's a lot of little things. It's kind of resinous-y, kind of incense-y, kind of a slightly sweet, a little spicy. There's a slight freshness to it. This is definitely better than the last one. It's not great. I would say it's okay. I don't love it. I wouldn't go as far to say put it in good in terms of really liking it. I would just say it's okay. I'm indifferent to it. And the last one we're going to do for this video is Lyric Woman. So this is very different to Lyric Man. This has an elegance to it. It's got an elegance, a charm, a sophistication. This is a woman that's has her life sorted out. It's put together. There's a confidence to it, and it's attractive. I would say it's not great. It doesn't blow my mind, but it's definitely good. You get this more kind of slightly incensey kind of rose, a little bit spicy, a little bit fresh. There's this nice kind of a lot of nuance to it, I would say. It feels more complex and complicated. It's interesting though, I'd like to smell it more. I would think if a woman wore that around me, I would be quite impressed. I would think, you know, she knows what she's doing. For me, a solid good. That's it. That's ranking the samples I have at the moment from Amouage. You can kind of maybe gauge my taste here a little bit as to what is good and not good. I'll see you soon with another video. I hope you have a good day or good night, and I will see you soon with another one. Take care of yourselves. Bye.
Old man Harlem gives me Sunday headache, but that old man Harlem keeps me rolling on.